Good evening, CNN. Bill Bruford, CNN, Pensacola, Florida.
That's it? Yep.
History of Yes, Part 9. How can I help you?
We wanted to know something about the video for Yours No Disgrace.
The video for it?
And
well, the song itself. Well, you know, my memory is always a bit shaky on these things. It's been a while, but as I remember in the early days of Yes, we spent an awful lot of time lifting material, straight, wholesale, light, sections of light classical music, bits of jazz, lots of Wes Montgomery. Steve Howe was into a Wes Montgomery, Jim Hall phase, always has been in that guitar solo on that tune. Lots of TV music, and as I recall, Yours Is No Disgrace, of course, is straight bonanza. Isn't it Lorne Green, the guy with the snowy hair, you know, bum ba dum 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 da dum dum. We'd already done a track called No Opportunity Necessary, which is a Richie Havens track, and that used the fiddles from Big Country. You know, we must have been cowboy crazy. So this was No Opportunity Necessary Part 2, and we had the same bang, gang, 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 here they come, bang, 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 gang. You know, cowboy stuff.
Are there other songs? Are you still on? Yeah. Are there other songs? I haven't really heard it myself. Was it Cowboy Crazy? What was the first album called? Cowboy Crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, only the other track would be No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Necessary, No Opportunity Needed, or whatever it was. It was a Richie Havens song. And that, for some reason only known to us and completely forgotten by me, we decided to have a little bit of country music in the front of that, Big Country. So let it not be said that Yes is nothing if not multicultural and multi-ethnic.
Did you want to do a bit on For and Human Nine?
I can't remember at all. What is that song all about?
I always wanted to know
I don't remember that at all.
Because I remember.
You don't know about the lyrics? Well, you'd be the only person who does, because none of us ever knew about the lyrics.
Right. They're very, eclectic and use your imagination how they weave together.
But that particular song is very difficult. I really remember practically nothing about that song. I mean, the whole LP was put together fast, you'd laugh at how it was done, because we used to have a gig. This is the LP Close to the Edge. We would have a gig we'd go into the studio on a Monday or Tuesday and record the first quarter of a track, because we couldn't figure out what the next 3 quarters were, so we'd record that. Break everything down, drive up to the north of England, do a gig on Wednesday night, set the drums and everything back up in the studio and continue the track on Thursday. So all the sounds, for those of us who are not in the know, all the sounds therefore would change and everything was completely different. That's an unusual way of making records.
So would you work out some of the problems in the songs in the gig and then come back and...
Yeah, the songs were always a problem. Nobody knew how to finish them. And to tell you the truth, with Close to the Edge, we got lucky. Because 3/4 of the way through the side of an LP, nobody knew what the conclusion to the music was.
It's interesting,
least of all me.
In terms of the structure of Yes music all across the board, it's got a very classical inspiration. Just listening to the archival stuff that we were looking at, the songs run 11, 14 minutes long. And it's just kind of fascinating compared to other bands that are doing material. You guys take it to the symphonic realm.
Well, that was part of the idea, I guess. Nobody told us that you weren't allowed to do that in rock and roll. It was assumed that was our job, that we would somehow embroider things, and we had evidently the technical ability to be able to do that. And we had musicians in the band who could write extensions to an idea, who could develop things. For that you need a little musical training, which is not usually around in rock. And so there were plenty of people who hated the group for that. Anybody who was a hardcore rocker, Black Sabbath, why do these middle-class white art school guys come and spoil our rock? Because you understand, in England, rock is working class property, right? In come all these guys with art degrees from, Richmond Art School and things, and spoil their pop, So we had a lot of people who hated us. Still do, I guess.
It's interesting.
You wouldn't get that in the States, but in England that's very much the case, that rock is a working class idea. It's Bruce Springsteen, still is, hey! It's the working man, isn't it, and all that?
Sure, but I remember when I was in high school, I would go to concerts or high school mixers or whatever, and there were bands trying to do exactly what you guys were doing, and they would lift songs from your albums and imitate John's voice and drumming styles.
How misguided.
They would do a really good job. I think it was teaching them. It was stretching the rock mind a lot further.
Yeah, but as I say, there's a backlash to that. A lot of people didn't want their rock stretched at all. You know, yeah, we always thought it was all fair game. You know, in England, we didn't have a strong musical heritage of rock or R&B, so we just took the whole thing and messed it up a lot. You know, but whole sections of classical music were lifted, and classical ideas were lifted. You know.
Can you give me an example?
And now I knew you were going to ask me that. I have to be on the first album. What is that thing? No, I can't. I'm sorry to give you that, but
Okay.
I can't think of the tracks now.
Tracks like Starship Trooper or any of those. The ones that I remember as being more classical, more Mahler-esque, are really long and very instrumental. I would never have thought of that big country stuff being in
the classical stuff dropped out around the third LP. But the second LP, don't forget, was performed with an orchestra on stage at the Queen Elizabeth Hall in a classical venue in London. Rock drums, 25 string players, conductor. This was the time when it was de rigueur to perform with a symphony orchestra. Don't ask me why we do any of this. It's just that kids will be kids.
Oh, no, it's great. Also, there were bands like The Who who are doing rock operas, so it's Mass.
Oh, well, Bernstein's Mass was a lot better. No problem at all with that. And we weren't very good at it, and it got dropped. It was a craze that went around, and the Nice used Keith Emerson used an orchestra around a time. And everybody influenced everybody. If orchestras was the thing today, well, we all had an orchestra. There was a lot of money about, I guess, for rock too.
Well, and then in your concert here, you're using Stravinsky.
Absolutely, Firebird. I mean, that was popular with the band ages ago, and then the band used to use it, I believe, on stage in America, although not when I was in it. And that's.
So it's sort of a historical.
I think in the end of the day, John Anderson wants to have written that piece of music. I mean, in his other life, he would be Herbert von Karajan conducting Stravinsky.
Yes, he does a lot of people.
Yeah.
Watch him.
God, no! You must be crazy. Me watch John for cues? Oh, don't. We'll have a complete accident. No, he waves his hands around, but in his own brain, he's got a symphony orchestra up there.
Which is wonderful. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and at times, to give it its due, it's pretty weighty. I mean, it does have that scale, but it's nothing quite like the Berlin Phil.
So do you listen to a lot of classical?
Not at all. No, I hear bits of classical, but really I'm a jazz character. So I shouldn't be here at all. I'm really a complete fake. I started out as a jazz player and fell into rock for no good reason. And I keep trying to leave it. And I have left rock. I'm officially a jazz musician as of 1986 when I formed my own band. And I play jazz. That's what I perceive of myself as. But I keep coming back to these things because I can't go away. People keep saying, "Oh, come and play."
That jazz tradition and that kind of sensitivity brings another ambient element to Yes, which we're going
Well,
for.
it does to a degree, yes. These are all confusions. These are all confusions that bands of the day kind of thrived on. As I think I explained earlier, lots of people all think that you're all kids on the block, like Bon Jovi or something, and you're all going to agree on the music. We only ever disagreed. We could never agree on anything, which is why the music came out so funny.
It came out so interesting.
Maybe so, yeah. And at times we got lucky, and sometimes the arrangements are better than others. I always liked Siberian Khatru, which I thought was a great arrangement. It's not one you have to really remember. There is a great logic to it, and it develops nicely. We had a good day that day, or a good week that week. But other arrangements can get very convoluted so that you can't remember them, and often the reason you can't remember them is because they're convoluted and not so good. So it's just the hands of Hal. So that's about all I can tell you about Anne Ewan.
I'm curious, when you listen to, there's this whole thing going on, obviously keyboards and digital pad, this and everything else, samples. Music is getting this great fullness and ambience in terms of sound, and richness and fullness and so forth, but is it getting boring? Are people just doing the same thing over again? I turn the radio on here. And so forth, but is it getting boring? Are people just doing the same thing over again? I turn the radio on, hear the same tune done by 20 different bands, basically. ABA.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, you're getting one tune really. Well, you get one, in the States you get one tune for black people and one tune for white people.
1451 with a rap or...
Yeah. Well, not that many chords in rap. Black music is one chord. White guys want 3 chords. It's pretty homogenous. I mean, there is other stuff out there, you know, that you could have. You have only to ask your record company for it, and they will record it for you. But you've got to ask for it.
So, is there anybody in the pop along those lines that you've listened to that you think is good?
Well, I like lots of music, so I like the best of everything, you know. I like the best thrash metal band there is, you know. And I can take, you know, 10 minutes of white rock, and I can take, you know, 10 minutes of blue-eyed soul, and I like it all for 10 minutes. But for me, jazz has a greater longevity, yeah. I can listen to 20-year-old jazz LPs and still marvel at them. There are people who can listen to 20-year-old rock LPs, like Yes, but not me.
And when you're not listening to jazz,
what am I doing? I'm spanking my 3-year-old. I'm organizing my family or gardening. But, yeah, we have a biggish garden, yeah. I should really be gardening right now.
yeah, it's just the season.
This is all, you know, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. I shouldn't be here. I'm a fake and I should be gardening.
Nonsense. Looks like you have a little garden up there. Octagonal pads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's
No,
good.
thanks.
That was really interesting.
I can't think of anything else, but John is one of these incredible media absorbers.
Yes.
You know, he sits a lot blowing